Hello and welcome to another video where this time we will talk about Bird with its new alternate road. These are the team. And these are the graces. Same with normal Bird, we take these two gifts as starting ego gifts and remember to turn gift search on to search for grand welcome. I might say it alternate route, but the first two floors are still gonna be the same, with the first one being flat broke gamblers. The how to play is still more or less the same, with trying to get as much as even notes as you can and manually chaining for faster speed. You can of course win rate this, but keep in mind that win rating is much lower.
대부분 분야에서 저는 최고의 성능을 내는 AI지만 응원은 조금 더 준비 시간이 필요합니다. 적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 가지고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다. 개체형의 일급을 가하는데 성공했습니다.
끝내주겠어.
샴페인을 가져오기엔 너무 이른 타이밍이긴 하겠지만 이 효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
발목 잡지 않도록 최선을 다할게요.
대부분 분야에서 저는 최고의 성능을 내는 AI지만 응원은 조금 더 준비 시간이 필요합니다. 공감의 영역은 적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 가지고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠.
끝내주겠어.
저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
망설여. 나아갈 수 없어.
On shop, I tried to get a tier 3 with some refresh, but if I did not get it, I will just skip it and just enhance health of Fly Stream to plus and Fury down to plus.
불꽃을 벼리겠어.
On boss, it should be the same. Do whatever you want the most, either manual chaining or win rating it. Do keep in mind that some of the enemies here can use their quote-unquote skill tree and we have to win. Just like this down clear, in which he is clashing by his skill 1 by the way.
관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 가지고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다. 훌륭한 제압 성과를 낸 직원이군요.
나아갈 수 없어.
효율적인 결과를 위해서 이쯤에서 관리자님이 칭찬의 말을 건네주면
For the
좋을 것
mounting
같네요.
trials, please avoid HP trial if possible, unless the gift is like tier 3 and the HP trial is not that much. Even 10% can hurt the speed and consistency of this run. Floor 2 is our favorite pack, Hell's Chicken. Same as before, do as you wish, win rate or manual chaining. I think if you take a shot every time I say manual chaining and binge watch all my videos, you will get wasted, like totally wasted.
일이었어요. 불꽃을 벼리겠어.
개체가 유리한 조건을 이용하고자 하는 징조가 보입니다만 관리자님의 전술력과 제 지시만 적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나
끝내주겠어.
옳은 말만 한답니다.
망설여. 나아갈 수 없어.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로
나아갈 수
훌륭한
없어.
제압 성과를 낸 직원이 있군요. 효율적인 결과를 위해서 이쯤에서 관리자님이 칭찬의 말을 건네줘도 좋을 것 같네요.
Getting chicken here is not really mandatory, but it sure does help a ton. So if you don't get it, either run with more units on floor 4 and 5 or try to fuse them on the shop. But speaking of shop, there's a higher priority in my opinion. Oh wait, I got thread. Thread is very good to get, but obviously not a requirement. But this thread only works if you get burn rock on this shop, by the way. If you get glimpse of flames like I do, you will have to do very slight changes to the way you run things. I got lucky and get thread, but you'll see why it's not all that good.
불꽃을 벼리겠소.
On boss, you could of course use the whole team, but if you have rock or threads like me, you could just use Isang Ego and all of them should die. If you don't have them, just bring your whole team, Ego the small chickens to make things faster and do 2 or 3 skills to Papa Bongi. And that should be it.
모든 걸 끌어모아 삼천대천.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
On floor 3, there are multiple packs that you want. We haven't tested them all yet, but Emotional Craving and To Be Pierced are the one we recommend so far.
불꽃을 벼리겠소.
This is where the alt route is all about. Spamming the shit out of OPMD Ego like 3G Isang over and over again. If I didn't have threats, this is not a kill by the way. So you have to just bring your whole team and just clash normally, which is maybe a minute or 2 slower at most. Or you could use the Ego and normal skills on top of that. In this even note, I skip it because I have another fight and having a unit's unstagger wasted some time, so I am willing to lose a tier 2 ego gift for some time save, which actually works in my favor because the enemy are tanky and they are not even dead from one single 3G Isang with threats.
제가 유리한 조건을 이용하고자 하는 징조가 보입니다만 관리자님의 전술력과 제 지시만 있다면 그다지 위협적이진 않을 것 같군요.
Well, I wrote 4 tails though, maybe I should just corrosion and it would be a 1/3 kill.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다. 관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠. 이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화네요.
당근 나의 역사는 기어이 흩어져 소멸.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠.
But now that I did this and my Isang SP is in the bins, I need to heal him back to positive SP at the shop so he doesn't corrode, and craft for the other tier 4 burn gift. But if you have burn rock already but not glimpse, you can skip fusing until floor 4 if you want. Oh, and if you have leftover, try to fuse for bleed rock, but it is not necessary now.
발목 잡지 않도록 최선을 다할게요.
On the boss, you should use 3G Isang and Harmony Seed Lane and try to get as much part as possible out of this. I have thread, so only Isang's 3G is required, but I'm using Harm Clear to show the leftover resources later on.
모든 걸 끌어모아 삼천대천.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
For floor 4, we are choosing Hatred or Despair pack as usual. Just move it out a floor. On the shop, try to fuse for bleed gifts. If you are not unlucky like me, Maybe you could try to fuse for singing ego gifts as well. On the boss, you only need to bring these 3 sinners, with the third being anyone is fine. But I chose Ryoju because I need her fielded on floor 5 anyway. And yeah, you just use 3G Yisang or Yoshus, either is fine, and use Harmony Sinclair over Clock. Only 2 Ego is fine. If you take too much HP trials here, you need 3 ID instead of 2. I made that mistake on my previous run where I only bring 2 ID and Thread of Despair barely live with like 30 HP. Mostly due to me being unlucky, but better be safe than sorry, right? The reason why we only bringing this amount of IDs is because hitting animation is slowing us down, and having less ID means it will be faster.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
Last floor is line 2. Remember to swap the difficulty to hard because line 2 is only found on hard node.
좋은 요리법이었군.
On the shop, try to fuse both singing tier 4s with artistic sense maxed out. If you have more, you can try to fuse for poise rock as well, but you don't really need it.
맛있는 경험을 기대하지.
Same as floor 4, I'm bringing these 3 IDs to the fight and just use their ego, which is double 3G and harmony overclock. There is a cool technique you must know or do in this fight, since harmony Sinclair corrosion targeting is pretty random, and this threat requires you to hit both parts at once. But since in my run Sinclair hit both parts, I'm not doing the tag now, but I will explain it after this. Even without sharp needles and threads, I am still overkilling by around 300 HP. You could of course bring more IDs if you want to be extra safe. This is just basically for a little bit of time save anyway.
세 번 베어낸다. 과거를 1000번 간주하여 미래에서 1000번 거슬렀지. 찰나의 일수 다시 1000번의 끝.
And that's it. The run in my opinion is faster than the normal route, but it heavily relies on you getting the burned rock on floor 2 shop. If you didn't get it, you might want to either do normal floor 3 with normal clashing, with maybe adding an ego, or do our old strat with the same team, in which both should be around 1 or 2 minutes lower. So this is the technique on roses that you need to do if your harmony is only hitting one part. So there's 3 body part on roses and 1 head part. If you put the first Rishi on the first body part, the targeting will be all on the body. Then you put the second Rishi on the second body part, and it should target the head. Now you retarget the first Rishi on the first part again, and now it should target the head as well. Then the last step will be to target harmony to the third body, since apparently you can quote-unquote manipulate the first target even if it's random. By doing this, Sinclair attack weight gain will target the head because that's the only slot that is not mainly targeted by any of the skill, and that should guarantee you the kill. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask in the comment section or in our Mirror Dungeon optimization thread. By joining, you could get a cool tag for your Discord profile. Goodbye!